Welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time here, nice to meet you. My name is Saskia Klunder and I am a pole dancer, stripper on hiatus, and I make videos that are mostly related to pole, stripping, sex work, so if you're interested in knowing about how I organize my pole dance training schedule, then that's what this video is going to be about, so keep watching. The way I organize my training schedule kind of changes all the time, and it's definitely changed a lot from when I first started pole to now. I have the luxury of being able to train whenever I want because I do have a pole at home, and pole is my main job, especially because of COVID. Right now I'm not working in a club, so I am at home a lot and I have a lot of time to train. At a studio, you don't have access to all the classes because all the classes are different levels, and obviously the schedule is not tailored to you. I recommend, if you have a pole, a space in your home where you can set up a home pole, that combined with taking classes is the best way to improve, because you're going to be learning new things in group classes or in privates or whatever, but then you're going to be able to practice at home on your own pole, and that's crucial. And that is kind of how I train at the moment. So now I'm going to delve into how I really organize my training schedule throughout the week and how I organize and set up each individual training session as well. Throughout the week, I definitely give myself one full rest day, usually Sundays. My fiance works as an electrician, so he gets up and leaves the house before 6 a.m. every morning. I don't know why I started telling you about my boyfriend and his schedule. Oh, right. Because on Sundays, my boyfriend only has the weekends off, so on Saturdays I still usually train and do a bunch of cleaning and stuff, and then Sunday we have our full day rest and we just kind of hang out and lay in bed and smoke joints and watch movies. In terms of how many times a week I train, I get this question a lot. Throughout the week, I make sure that I do train on the pole intensely at least 2 to 3 times. By intensely, I mean that's when I'm working on my hard tricks. The rest of the days of the week, I'm going to be working on flow, freestyles, just dancing around, having fun, doing what feels good, stretching. I'm not working out my hardest tricks 6 days a week. Just to give an example of how I would split my week, say on Monday I will do 2 hours of stretching in the morning, contortion, and then I'll take a little break, maybe teach a lesson or two, and then train on the pole for a couple hours, but not necessarily really intensely. Then Tuesday I'll teach a couple lessons and that's it, not do any of my own training. Wednesday's actually usually my busiest day. I've got contortion in the morning, and then I teach lessons throughout the day, and then I teach stretching at night. I don't usually have time to do my own training on Wednesdays, but I do obviously get a lot of exercise because I'm teaching stretching and teaching pole. Thursdays is usually a day when I don't have much planned, so that's when I get a lot of my intense training in on Thursdays. I'll train for at least 2 hours, I would say, on Thursdays. And then Friday, I'll do just like freestyles, flow, teaching a few lessons, and then Saturday again, maybe a day of like hard training. As you can see by the way I split that up, I'm still getting like mini rest days in between the days when I'm training my hardest tricks. So I'm not going to be training like my deadlift 2 days in a row. I'm going to let my body recover. In the meantime, I still do my freestyles, I still dance, and definitely get cardio work in and flow, and that's just how I relieve stress. So I definitely dance almost every day, but it doesn't have to be super intense. I feel like this was rambling on just to get to this, but how I'll organize a training session. I like to start off with all my clothes on, but I'll put knee pads underneath my clothes. I'll put my knee pads and then my sweats back on with my pole shorts and my like pole bra or whatever underneath. But then I start freestyling, and I call it a check-in freestyle. Sorry, I'm about to burp. So I call it a check-in freestyle. and just really moving and doing whatever your body feels like doing. You're not necessarily thinking about dancing. So just like right now I want to lift my arms, and right now I want to reach forward, and right now I want to reach my head forward. That's what feels good. And then I want to pull my shoulders back. And you're just doing whatever your body is signaling you to do. To me, that's usually like, when you wake up in the morning and you just stretch. I kind of think about that and try to put that idea into a freestyle. So I'll start off freestyling in all my clothes. Slowly, as I start freestyling, I take off pieces because you get warmer as you freestyle. I did not mention a warm-up because this is how I usually warm up. When I'm teaching a lesson, I will go through a 15-minute warm-up to make sure that the students are fully warm, because you can't really just be like freestyle for 20 minutes. It's not really the same thing. But when I'm training on my own, I start off really easy and freestyle until the point that I feel all warmed up and sticky. That usually takes about 20 to 40 minutes of freestyling, but that really has helped improve my flow. Freestyling is hard at the beginning. You won't necessarily be able to go for a whole minute even, but it gets better as you try. So I recommend forcing yourself to freestyle, putting on a playlist. What I do is I'll put on a song, dance from beginning to end. Whether I mess up or not, just dance from beginning to end. And then I pause my music and I go and I drink water while I watch my video. And I'll do this over and over. So really half of the time I spend watching and recovering, and the other half I spend dancing. And that way I'm able to kind of learn from what I just did, see if anything cool just happened, get my breath back before I go into another freestyle. After I've freestyled for about 30 to 40 minutes and I'm feeling really warmed up, that's when I start to kind of undress. And usually I'll take off my pants and put on heels. So I like to then freestyle a bit more, but with my shoes on. Now that I'm training at home, I don't dance in my heels as much as I used to, because I'm trying to not damage my floors and not bother my neighbors as much as possible. But I do still put my heels on and dance around for at least a few songs because I love it so much and I miss it. I usually start to get stressed out about the floor after 15 minutes, and that's why I take them off in the end. But yeah, so then a little bit of heel work and stuff like that, still got my knee pads on. By then, because I've been dancing now for like an hour with my knee pads on, my legs are feeling really dewy and I'm totally warm. And now I can take my knee pads off and my legs feel sticky and I'm totally ready to do my leg hangs, to do my climbs. If you start trying to do tricks and you're still cold and your body is dry, you're not going to be able to stick to the pole. So starting in sweatpants and knee pads is a really good way to make sure you're getting warm but also staying humid so that you can stick. So that's when I'll get on to doing my more intense, strenuous tricks usually. And how I decide what tricks I'm going to do is really just based on what I feel like doing. I used to make lists for myself and tell myself I'm going to do this many times and this many times. And I find that makes my training a lot less fun. The reason I chose pole is because I want to have a fun way to work out, but I just love, I love that it's fun. So don't take away the fun. I will say, okay, today I want to work on my jade into my bird of paradise. And I'll start off with that, and I'll try it once. And if I'm feeling like, oh, today my body is not up to that, then I'm going to try something else. Unless sometimes you get in a stubborn move and that's when you force yourself to get your best tricks for sure. But listen to your body because your body is telling you. Pole hurts, so you really need to know the difference between pain and pole pain. Your skin can be pinching and you can be pushing yourself up against the pole and it hurts. That's different than feeling like your muscles are being yanked or overused, overworked. If I start a combo and realize it's not the day for that combo and my ribs are hurting or something like that, I'll just find something new because there are so many different elements within pole that you can train that you don't need to stick to like that one trick that you thought you were going to practice that day. So I made a list of things that I always try to like work in throughout my week. So I don't necessarily have a day when I do each thing. I was going to try to make like a specific split, but I don't actually do that, so I felt like it was kind of a lie. The things I try to include in my training throughout the week: freestyling, like I mentioned, low flow and choreo. So this is within my freestyles. Maybe I will have saved a video on Instagram of someone doing some kind of low flow cool move or something. I'll try to teach myself a little bit of choreo, a few new moves like that during the week, try to incorporate them into some of my freestyles. I will try some combos I'm comfortable with, like I said, Jade to Bird of Paradise, revisiting combos that you know you're good at to maintain your skill level. And I'll obviously try teaching myself some new tricks. This sometimes works better than other times. A lot of people have a hard time teaching themselves tricks. That's why you take lessons. But I like teaching. I like seeing a video and trying to break it down and teach it to myself. I like the challenge. I've always really liked that. So I do that at least probably one day out of the week. I spend a good hour just trying new things I've never tried before and failing mostly. Those are some of the days when I get the most sore. You can fail 30 times in 20 minutes. And you're getting closer, but you're working really hard, you know. So that's one of my favorite kind of pole workouts, is just like try new things and fail. Finesse and polishing, so that goes in with doing combos that you're comfortable with, working on cleaning up your lines. So I film everything I do. The second I'm going to go towards the pole, I click record. The second I get off the pole and I'm done, I click stop. And I pretty much do that for my whole training, because I think I learn a lot from seeing my own videos. And it can look like I'm doing a perfect invert with straight legs, or feel like that, but then in the video you see they're micro bent. Do it over and over until you get your legs straight. That's, to me, the best way to work on finesse, is just repetition. So that's another thing actually that I have on the list is repetition. I think a lot of people get caught up in the idea of learning a new move every time they go to class or every time they train. That's not really realistic. You need to spend time improving your moves and do the move over and over and over until it becomes easy for you. There have been times when I thought I had a move down to use, and then the second you go to use it in a freestyle, you can't, because you haven't actually done it enough times for it to be in your muscle memory. So repetition, do that move 20 times. You're gonna get a really good workout and you're gonna get way better at the move. So I work mostly on spin pole, so pretty much everything I've mentioned up until now is like spin pole related, but you can do all those things on static. Like, that's just the way I think of it. And then I also do separate training for static pole, because static is way harder for me. I'm not super dynamic. I have a hard time with anything like jumpy and like throwy, flippy, tumbles, drops, anything like that kind of freaks me out. And I have a harder time with it. So I definitely make specific workouts where I'm like, hey, today I'm going to put at least 1 hour into my static training. So that's another element of pole that you should definitely focus on. There's spin, there's also static. Then there's stretching and balancing. I never used to feel like you needed to cross train if you were a pole dancer, because I felt like all the elements within pole were enough. And I do still feel that way, but I also think that taking up contortion has really, really helped me. A lot of elements of pole dance require flexibility and strength, and those are the two main factors that you are working on in contortion. I have always been a flexible person, but since taking contortion lessons, I've learned how to use my flexibility in a safer way, and I've developed a lot more flexibility and strength. So I think that if you are looking into some sort of cross training, something you can do every second day, or something you can do in your home if you don't have somewhere to put a pole, I would highly recommend contortion. You can take contortion classes, beginner contortion classes online, so you really don't need, you just need hardly any equipment and a yoga mat on your floor. You don't need much space and a wall, and you can get a lot stronger and a lot more flexible, and that is definitely going to help your pole practice. So I guess that's pretty much it. That's how I organize my training schedule. I feel like that was a little bit all over the place, but it's really just to say that you should organize it how you want to organize it, and dance when you want to dance. The only way you're gonna be able to come up with some good shit is if you feel like being there. Sometimes I wake up and it's a day when I planned on doing a really intense training and I don't feel like it. I feel like laying in bed and smoking a joint and eating chips. So sometimes that's what I do. If you're liking my videos, please subscribe and like this video. And yeah, I will be posting another video shortly. So take care. That shit was fucking all over the place. I told myself I would film a video when I woke up, and I did.